All right, so here's a video. It's a lot of people have been asking me nothing about replacing a mirror for a 2012 or 13 to 2020 Ford Focus, either driver mirror or side mirror. Obviously, this is not the car. The car is behind me. You probably can't see it, but it's a 2013 Ford Focus, and some pile of trash hit the window, the driver's side mirror, and ruined it. So I'm here to show you the process and what you're going to need to actually replace that. It doesn't require a lot of effort, but it does take a little bit of pre-know-how to make it simple. That being said, let's study the Chinese replacement we have here. So this comes from, and it is a heated mirror. So there are a couple things to note with this replacement. This comes from Amazon. You can get it from eBay. It all comes from China. And it doesn't look too bad, honestly. Let's take this condom off real quick. And let's look at it. Is it glass? I don't know. I'm not sure. Is it decent? I think so. Looks pretty good. Let's flip it over. Here you'll note the heated connections on the left by my thumb there. And while it does look different than the OEM unit, I could say it's probably going to be just fine. Some people complain about it cracking and stuff, so it's obviously not glass, I'm guessing. Whole point here is to really have something that lets you drive the car without crashing it. Oh, this is very sticky on the backside. Look at that. Bound to collect dust till no end. Sorry about the spiders that are going to eventually live in that house. The housing of the... Now, if you look here, you're going to see a little tab area. This is where you're going to swap your original piece of metal that comes out to keep the fisheye part oriented correctly with the rest of the unit. Maybe it is glass. I don't know. I'm not going to test it. It does look like glass. You see the edge of a mirror, and it has a certain, I don't know, cut to it. It kind of has that cut to it. So maybe it's glass. I wouldn't be surprised if it was either glass or plastic. Now this is new. I don't really recognize this on the replacement one, but I don't care. It's going to go on either way. So the metal piece you'll see that comes off the original Ford unit, it's a little piece of stainless steel or something. Oh, look who it is. It's Thor. Can't see him. There we go. Hey, Thor, what's up? What you doing? There's Thor again. Hey, what you doing? What you killing out there? Psst. All right, so you're gonna pull the one off of your original one, and it looks like on this it's just gonna slide out. Slides out and clips back onto this one, and there's a spot you're gonna have to put it in on the other side of where this fits into. Now let's look at the clips here. You've got several retaining clips, like some on the inside. Here, 1, 2, 3, I don't know, 4, 5, a bunch of clips. And so to get this on, you're just gonna be pressing it on. Gently, of course, with a towel or something so you don't crack the lens. But getting this thing off, to make things simple, normally you need some sort of tool to leverage this off the housing. So I'm just gonna suggest what most people might have laying around the house: spatula. You could use this side, you could use this side, doesn't matter. Something that's a little wider than just a screwdriver. A screwdriver is gonna crack your mirror. I don't know why you'd be replacing a good mirror, but if in case you were, maybe you don't like it's yellowed or something like that. I don't know, but this is a good way to get it off, get the mirror off. You know, pry it. I'll show you how to do that in a minute here. Another note for the heated mirrors, you have the positive, negative, negative, positive. I don't know which is which. I don't even care, but just mark, you know, either orientation wise which is which. When you pull the mirror off, when you pry it off, you'll see which one's connected to what. And so one's going to be obviously the inside, one's going to obviously be outside connection, and just reconnect them as so. So here you'll see the really cool mirror that somebody was so graciously willing to destroy for us for free. And what I did in the meantime while I was waiting for this to get shipped is I found a mirror inside of a CVS that was just on his sunglasses box. And so I found it, and then I put it on here just so I didn't want to, somebody, you know. They did this, they smashed that up. And, you know, while that's a bummer, I do want to eventually get the housing replaced. It's kind of just whatever at this point. But what needs to be changed is this stuff. So let's start cooking. Now, to get this, make this job even easier, just go ahead and pull the mirror that way. However, it was destroyed when someone hit it, right? So you can easily move these things up and down. Obviously, this one's cracked into another dimension, which is the reason it's being replaced. But this is how you know if a heated mirror or not. This is a little heat indicator here. If you don't have that, don't buy a heated one. You don't need it. They're pretty cheap though. I think it's like 25 bucks, more or less. So the reason I'm showing you this is you can move these around yourself to make it easier to remove. In this case, I'm gonna push it up like this, and you're gonna see underneath here where it connects to right there. And that little round area just above the yellow, red, and blue wire, or whatever that is the way it's connected to the housing here. So, spatula comes in hand. I'm just gonna pry this bad boy off. Either way works. I'd suggest using the other side if you could. The glass is already coming off this thing. See, it's popping off. And there it is. So there's the mirror. If you got a broken one like I do, watch out for the glass. And there's that little piece of metal that I was talking about. So I'm going to take that off here in a second, and then I'm going to put it onto the new one. So you see the difference here. The problem with mine is I don't know which is which on this one as far as positive and negative. So I'm just going to go with the most relaxed way it looks as I gently lift these two wires up and hope I get it right. If I don't, the car blows up. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Just gonna go ahead and make a video on how not to blow up your car, or how to clean up a blown up car on the side of the road. Be very careful with your old mirror. Just kidding. So this looks like it just flies out from the side here. This is a genuine OEM Ford unit, so this just pulls out. All right, there it is. Just slides out, held on with a little bend there, and that's it. Damn. I mean, come on, 98? God damn. So while I have this in my hand, important thing to note is this part, which is going to be in the new mirror, needs to rest on this side of the housing. It's a support system, and that keeps it oriented straight, I believe, as this motor turns the rest of the unit. Straight as possible, I mean, just so the driver can see, use the best angle for the fisheye, which is probably like head on in whatever position you're in. All right. I'm sure everything's gonna blow away here. All right, so I'm gonna put it back on. Let's see, can you see that? Sliding it in. and it should just settle in. There you go. Perfect. Now take the spatula and just toss it. So to reiterate, and also see the cone because people don't know how to drive their cars, to reiterate what I was saying is this little tab now needs to mount on the inside. Kind of see now. Turn the brightness up. On the inside, so it's touching the inside of that little black tab there. When you go to push it on, make sure you have that on the inside, not on the outside. Make sure it's on the inside. So let's look at the connection here. You've got a black wire with no stripe. You've got a black wire with a red stripe. Now, this is a circuit that's going to provide electrical current through this whole, system here. So, does this thing really care which way it's going? It shouldn't, as far as electrical systems go. Power will be supplied and run through here, heat the surface up, and get rid of, frost or whatever on your mirror, and then it's going to return back to the battery. So it doesn't really matter which way it goes unless there's some sort of diode or situation on there that would cause a future problem with that. So that being said, I did my best to see how these wires were looking prior to putting this on. I kind of lifted them up and just looked at them and said to myself, well, it looks like they would be comfortably setting this way. So I'm going to say red wire with the black on the closer to the driver, and the solid black wire, which appears to have no other coloration on it at all, on the outside of the further from the driver. It's just science, folks. So let's look at the part here. This is going to fit on the outside edge here of the motor housing, I guess you could call it. You can see here there's like a little edge. So these little tabs need to pop over these edges here to secure into place. And do it with care. If you can, push mostly in the center here, where if you push on the outside, you're going to risk cracking whatever's going on. So keep in mind, the best place to push is the opposite side of this. So you want to just do that. And granted, nothing's ever super easy, but eventually you'll get it. Either that or crack your mirror. No one wants to do this shit more than once. Oh, another thing to notice. See that little ear tab there? That must fit in this recess here. So that's a good way to start it, I guess. Won't lie, it's not going that well. Nothing's broken yet, but even aligning this up, it does have a vibe of it's giving you attitude going in. Being very careful not to crack this genuine part. Holy hell. So finally got it. It finally snapped in on the bottom and snapped in on the top. And I'm guessing it's just because this is not an OEM product. OEM meaning original equipment manufacturer. Ford replacement looks a little different. Very close. Of course, the clips are much better and a little more defined. So keep that in mind when you're putting this on. The plastic parts on the aftermarket stuff are more clunky and not as precise. So naturally, it takes a little more time to get it right. Just take care of your old mirror best you can. And then double check that it doesn't seem like it's going to fall off again. Looks fine. Fits the housing pretty well, I guess, for a replacement mirror. Of course, it's got hot Cheeto fingers all over it now. I don't need hot Cheetos. But yeah, it looks good. I'm going to call it a fix at this point until I can find a cheap replacement for this housing. And go find the person that did this and make him pay. I know who it was. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like,